This is how you lift it. Madison Brooklyn!
All right, guys, welcome back to CrossFit Loto. My name is Ryan. I'm going to be doing some coaching and cueing today. Donnie, my athlete, is going to be doing some lifting. Today we're going to be going over the med ball squat clean. This is one of our progression lifts. We're going to break it down into the sum of its parts and put it all back together in the end. First, let's go ahead and watch Donnie do a couple full med ball squat cleans. Now, the reason that our med ball squat clean is one of our 9 foundational movements is because it teaches us a couple things about our setup position and our catching position that become very important down the road for our barbell movements. First, we're going to set up properly. Go ahead, Donnie, and stand with your heels under your hips, toes tracking out to the pinky side of the foot. And he's going to hinge over at the waist and get ready to pick the ball up off the floor. At this point, notice his shoulders are above his hip, which are above his knee. He's ready for the first step in our progression, which is simply the deadlift. Donnie, go ahead and give us a couple deadlifts. Just as if he had a barbell in his hands, you guys, he's standing up, keeping that ball nice and close to his body, fully opening his hip, control at the top, and then setting it back down on the floor. The next step in the progression is going to be a deadlift with extension. Donnie, go ahead and give us a couple of those. He's popping his hips, shrugging his shoulders. That's going to be really important as we get into our barbell movements, like I said. As far as this goes, we're just popping the hips, making that ball start to float, and then setting it back down on the floor. Our next step is going to be the pop and drop. How this is going to look, I'm going to have Donnie stand up with the ball, and he's going to hold it at his hips. Now for the catch, and then we'll put this all back together. Donnie, go ahead and give us a couple pop and drops, please. Now, notice there, you guys, he's catching it with his hips below his knees. That's going to be really important when we get into a squat clean. Notice also that that ball is staying in the same orientation. So he's not curling the ball, he's catching the ball and rearranging his hands on it. Now, for the whole movement, let's put it all together, Donnie. Give me a couple med ball squat cleans. There's our full progression in a med ball squat clean, taking that ball from the floor, learning how to catch it properly, and standing up with it. One of our 9 foundational movements.
Going further!
All right, guys, going further into the med ball squat clean, we're going to go ahead and look at some common faults and then some fixes to those faults so we can all be on the right page sooner than later. First, Donnie, go ahead and give me a couple good med ball squat cleans. And watch his hips as they fully open up top. That's really something that's going to be very important for anything that we're doing in here, is that full hip function. We're going to look now at that common fault of muted hip function. Donnie, go ahead and give us a couple more where you don't open those hips all the way. The difference, you guys, is minor, but watch his hips. They don't fully come through, which is going to cost him once he's on a barbell and looking to lift heavier weights. If this is your athlete, make them come back to the deadlift and deadlift with extension. So Donnie had muted hip function in his last one. I'm going to ask him to give me 3 with a big jump shrug and squeezing his hips at the top. And a couple more. Good, one more. Once his hips are coming through to that level, tell him to go ahead and do a couple more med ball squat cleans. So give me 2 more med ball squat cleans, big hip pop, and back down. Once your athlete has that full hip extension, they're getting one of the big pieces out that they need to get. And again, you're going to see a lot of muted hip function because that med ball is not going to be very heavy for a clean. Practice those things, get that muted hip function out of there so that you can transfer into your squat clean a lot better.
Go! We need the further!
All right, guys, we're going to go a little bit further into the med ball squat clean, look at the common fault of an early arm bend, what that looks like with the med ball, and some common fixes and how to fix it. First, we're going to watch Donnie do a few med ball squat cleans properly, though. Notice he's shrugging his shoulders before his arms ever bend. The other thing to watch, the laces are always pointed at the camera there. That means he's doing it properly. Watch as now Donnie's going to do a few early arm bends in the arm curl. Now, your athletes, as they start, this is going to be a pretty common thing. Notice how that ball is turning. If this is your athlete, there's really 2 easy fixes to this. First, get them to go back to that pop and drop step. Donnie, go ahead and stand up with the med ball and show me the pop and drop, keeping that med ball facing the same direction. And show me one more. Now, go ahead and stand up and keep it on your hip Show me one where you curl the arms and bend the arms early and still curl it. Now, if your athlete is still doing this, what you can do as a coach, go ahead and stand up with it, Donnie. I'm gonna take the ball from him and make him go down and catch it. So he's going to have to let go. So Donnie, go ahead now, pop and drop, and stand up, and take it back down to your hip, and pop and drop, and stand up. What he will then get is that feeling of rearranging his hands on the ball. He won't get that curl anymore. He will now feel what it means to actually rearrange himself and catch it low. Again, that early arm bend, that arm curl, we don't want to see that because it'll start to transfer into the barbell movements and kill your power once you get heavy. Fix that, get onto a barbell.